Listen, if this is the last video you ever see from me, then I want you to know about these two plugins that are absolute game changers, and they're gonna help your music tremendously. In this video, I'm gonna show you guys what they are and how you can make something like this. A little bit of change of scenery, but don't mind me. I'm actually cooking right now, and I'm cooking. I'm making chicken fried rice right now. I actually know how to cook. If you follow me, you see the food that I post daily. But enough of all that. You're probably wondering what the two plugins are. But the two plugins that I'm talking about are Splice Bridge and Splice Create. Now don't click off this video yet. I know it's not an ad, but I want to show you guys the power of these two tools, and I feel like if you utilize them, you can get a ton of ideas flowing. I'm gonna explain them really quick so that way you just get the base idea of it. Splice Create is basically this feature on the desktop and the website where you can drag in your own loop or a loop that you found on the site and build around it using AI. No, AI doesn't actually make the samples. It essentially time stretches and pitches the sample to the original one. So if you wanted an A minor or C major, any sound that you find will time stretch it and pitch it to that key, so that way you can use that to build ideas off of. That sample that I just played you are different parts that I would have never pieced together and built off of if I didn't use Create. Let me break down that soul sample and show you guys how I got there. So I went to my Diplomatic Immunity drum kit and I started with a drum loop. That's one of my drum loops from one of my other beats, and I really like that bounce because it reminds me of some like 90s type of shit. I dragged it into Create and I just started looking for different layers. So let me break down these stack layers for you. Started with these drums, and then the horns, and the vocals. It doesn't sound good all together because it's missing the very most important thing, space. Not everything is supposed to fit together, so some of the parts of the different layers I just used as textures like this. I added some effects to it, so it leads into the next part. I added this Rickenbacker bass. Now I did have other instruments on here. As you can see, I had like a whole bunch of different patterns and even some chords that didn't make it. I actually play that in. I've been working on like my piano skills, and I've been trying to stay committed to finding like a new chord progression a day. And then I chop the horns over here, so that way it's more so like a texture. I also took that same drum loop from my kit and then made a drum pattern. I ended up not adding drums on it because truthfully I like the sample the way it is, and I'll just return to it later when I feel like I have a good ideas of some drums, or maybe I'll chop it differently, or maybe I'll just give it to you guys in an Instagram post. So you guys should follow me, because then I'll just have it for you guys to download. Before we move on, I do want to mention that you could use this tool if you're creatively blocked, or you want to start an idea, or you feel like there's a resistance where the ideas that are in your head are not coming out. You could just fish on Splice to create for some ideas and build on top of them and then return to them later. But here's how I like to use it. One of the ways that I'm using this is I'm using it as accents, phrases. I'm also using it as a way to find new ideas. So now I know, okay, these type of horns sound really good. I'm gonna keep that in my repertoire. Vocals, I love little arp sweeps like this. Little piano textures that sound like confetti coming down from a championship. Like, those are things that, because they work in this, I already know that if I do them with a different pattern, they're going to work. You can use this various ways. It's all up to your creativity. Don't mind the criticism, cause shit, I don't. You know what I mean? Like, who cares at the end of the day? We're all making music. Like, there's no reason why all musicians should, you know, butt heads on things. We're all just making music, having fun, doing our thing. Now let me show you Splice Bridge. Now this drill beat, I'm not gonna do a whole breakdown because I already did it on my YouTube channel, but you could definitely go check out because I leaked a whole bunch of sauce in that video, so definitely go check it out. But I felt like this is a good representation of how you could use accents and phrases. If you don't know about accents and phrases, they're just little things to spice up the beat. Think about it in a food sense. If your beat is the main meal, think about accents and phrases as little salt, pepper, and seasoning, and Parmesan sprinkled on top. That shit sounds good. So it makes everything a lot better. When you think about it in that context, Splice Bridge actually helps you find the accents and phrases that fits your beat. So just open Splice Bridge on your instrument track and open the desktop app. Now this beat is in D sharp minor, so I'm gonna go ahead, click D sharp minor. If I just have these drum patterns and I just want to find, like, say like a new idea, or I want to find some accents and phrases that work with this, I would just select it, highlight it, and then find the sounds or loops that work within it. So if I like that, I could just drag it and it'll already drag the modified version of it, meaning it's time stretched and pitched. So you get the gist of it. You can use it as an enhancer, or if you already have a drum loop, you can flip through ideas and maybe get a different idea started. In this case, I found this accent. And I chopped it up and added some effects so it sounded like this with the melody. And I used it to find these effects as well as this background perk loop. These are just tools, man. Like, it's all in the way that you use them. And like I said, if you're having fun and you're progressing forward and you're building your motion, that's all that matters. So give those two tools a try. Be open-minded because it's all based off of your creativity. With that being said, make sure you guys follow me on my YouTube channel and on IG because I'm gonna do a FL Studio giveaway. Yes, I partnered up with ImageLine and I'm gonna give away some copies pretty soon. So definitely stay tuned for that. Also giving a couple copies of this new drum kit that I put out. So definitely stay tuned. That being said, my name is Isaac Duarte, and I will catch you guys next time.